Hello, everyone, and welcome to my B2 High Intermediate English course. In this module, you will learn the future continuous versus the future perfect tense. At the end, you will get to practice what you just learned with a few sample exercises. Let's get started. Okay, so let's look at these two charts here. Um, so Uh, Future continuous here is, first of all, it's formed with will plus the be verb, and then a verb with ing. So it would be the present participle here. So this tense is used for actions in progress at a certain time in the future. So an example is this time next week, I will be traveling to Paris. Or tomorrow at 10, you'll be doing your exam. All right. And then it's also for future plans and arrangements. Sometimes present continuous is used or be going to. So, for example, um, we'll be coming next weekend. It also means we're coming next weekend using present continuous. Or I will be leaving tomorrow at 8 a.m. Okay, now let's look at future perfect. Okay, so this uses will, have, plus the past participle of a verb. So an example would be uh, by this time tomorrow. These are actually signal words. By tomorrow, by next week, by 2050, etc. So you'll see an example starting with the past perfect. I had finished my work, right? For example, yesterday at this time. Here is present perfect. I have finished my work recently or now. And then future perfect right here. I will have finished my work. And the time expression by this time tomorrow. Okay, so these are for actions finished before some time in the future, right? By this time tomorrow. It's also for duration of a situation until some time in the future. So, for example, I will have been married for 20 years. So we got duration of some time here, the 20 years, right? Um, so that's future perfect. This one, of course, is present perfect, and this is past perfect. But we'll concentrate on future perfect, future continuous. So, all right, let's look at the use of future continuous. So, we're talking about actions in progress in the future. So, we use the future continuous to talk about situations or actions that will be in progress at a certain time in the future. So, for example, this time next week, we'll be traveling to Jamaica. We've got also tomorrow at 10, you will be taking your exam, right? Okay. Then when you get off the train, I will be waiting on the platform. Okay. And then in 2 months' time, we'll be lying on the beach and sunbathing. So we will be doing two things here. Okay. You can see the time expressions, signal words. When is one, tomorrow, this time, next week, or whatever. All right, and let's talk now about future arrangements. Sometimes present continuous is used. So we use the future continuous instead of the present continuous normally to talk about future events that have already been planned or decided. Um, so a couple examples here. We will be coming next weekend. So it's also the same as saying we are coming next weekend. So this is already planned basically. And then we have, we will be leaving for town at 8 a.m. tomorrow. And you can also say are leaving for town at 8 a.m. tomorrow. So, but it's common uh, either way. But I think most often uh, it's we would use the future continuous. Okay, so let's look at the signal words for this tense here. So as you can see in the examples above, we often use future continuous with time expressions such as this time, like in this time tomorrow, this time next week, and so on. When plus a clause, at plus a time, like at 7 tomorrow, at midday next Monday, etc. In, like in 2 weeks, in 3 months, in 5 years, things like that. And then in however long of a time. So, for example, in 2 weeks' time, in 3 months' time, in 5 years' time, and so on. All right. Okay, let's talk about future perfect now, how it is used. Okay, this is used for actions finished in the future. So we use the future perfect for actions that will be finished before a certain time in the future. So, for example, by 2050, researchers will have found a cure for cancer. And then we have by this time next year, I will have graduated. Or when you arrive tomorrow, we will have left. So we can see that for these actions here, um, they will be accomplished or finished like by this time, right? Even before. So yes, by or before a certain time here. All right, let's talk about a duration until some time in the future. So we use the future perfect also to talk about the duration of a situation until a certain time in the future. Okay, so we have by the time I start university, I will have lived in London for 6 months. So this action has happened first. Will have lived, or it will happen here by the time I start university. And then in 2 years, we will have been married for 20 years. So, and I know it's expressing the duration here, 20 years. So, all right. Now let's look at the signal words for future perfect. So as you can see from the examples we just saw, we often use the future perfect with time expressions such as we've got by, like by tomorrow, by next week, by the end of the year, etc. By this time, and so on, like by this time tomorrow, by this time next week, etc. And then in, like in 2 weeks, in 5 years, and so on. Um, and then we can use when or before, um, and then continuing on, plus a clause. So by plus a time expression means not later than, at, or before a certain time. The two examples below show both future continuous and the perfect form using in. So, for example, in 5 months' time, he will be producing another movie. So that's the continuous here. And in 5 months, he will have produced another movie. And that's the future perfect. So see the only difference here with the continuous here is in 5 months time, that can be within the 5 months. He is planning on producing another movie here. And then where it says just in 5 months, that means that means he will have produced this movie. That means by the time it's 5 months. So, okay, well, we're going to move on to do a few sample exercises and have some fun, hopefully, and check our knowledge. All right, so exercise one. So multiple choice here. So choose the best, either future continuous or the perfect form. So when we arrive in Los Angeles, we'll need to rest because we about 800 miles. Okay, so we'll be driving, we'll have driven, or will drive. Okay, so first thing that happens, so it's going to be um, the perfect form. So if you chose uh, the second option, will have driven, that would be correct. We'll have driven 800 miles um, by the time we arrive in Los Angeles. Okay, number two, by the time you arrive, I will cook, will have cooked, or will be cooking something spectacular, and dinner will be on the table waiting for you. Okay, so which form would be best? Okay, so if you chose option B, will have cooked, that would be correct. This will already be done by the time you arrive here. All right, number three. When you get off the train, we will wait, will be waiting, or we will have waited for you on the platform. Okay, so this one, in this case, would be the continuous. If you chose option B, will be waiting, that would be correct because it showed that in, I believe, in the chart there, one of the examples. So this will be in action here um, when you get off the train here. Anyway, okay, one more here. So we, we what on the first train next Monday? Will be leaving, will have left, or will leave. All right, so what sounds correct? All right, so you chose option A, will be leaving. That would be correct. So future continuous. All right, let's try the second one here, exercise. Okay, from the drop down boxes, choose which one. Okay, so we have don't phone between 7 and 8. We dinner then. Will have had, will be having, or will be had. Okay, so it would be in progress this time. So if you chose the second option, will be having dinner then, that would be correct. Okay, number two, phone me after 8 o'clock. We dinner by then. Okay, so by or before. So we'll be finishing, we'll have finished, or we'll have finished. Okay, so all right, so if you chose the third one, we'll have finished dinner by then. That makes more sense. So the future perfect. All right, number three, tomorrow afternoon, we're going to play tennis from 3 o'clock until 4:30, right? This is planned. So at 4 o'clock, we what tennis? We'll have played, we'll be playing, will be played. Okay, so that means, notice that it's during this time. Okay, so if you chose the second option, will be playing, that would be correct for this one. Okay, one more here. So can we meet tomorrow? Yes, but not in the afternoon. I will have working, will be working, or will have worked. Okay, so sounds like it will be in progress still. So, um, okay, so if you chose the middle option, will be working, that would be correct. All right. Um, Want to do one more? Okay. 5. What time does the meeting finish? Will you be free at 11:30? Yes, the meeting by then. Okay. So, got will have finished, will have finishing, or will be finishing. Okay. So, to look at the context here. So, all right. So, we want what? Okay, so if you chose the first option, will have finished by then, he's saying yes. So it will have finished by this time. Okay, let's see what exercise 3 has. We'll try a few of this paragraph. For the verbs in parentheses, we'll choose either write them in future continuous or perfect. Okay, so technology is advancing so fast that by the year 2050, who knows what new technologies so we've got invent. Okay, so by this time, right? So we will, okay, so we want the perfect form. Will have invented, right? hmm So it is quite likely that by 2050 we use up most of the Earth's natural resources. Okay, so which form goes here? Okay, so I would do the perfect form. So we'll have used up most of, okay, and so we rely on wind and solar power. Okay, so what will happen here? This is a consequence here. So okay, that would be the continuous will be relying, right? Okay. And as there will be a shortage of energy, is quite likely that at that time, scientists, we've got try to find a way for us to live outside the Earth. Okay, we're saying at that time. Okay, so, all right, so we want the continuous again. Will be trying. hmm Okay, and then one more here. Before the end of the next century, it's possible that people live in cities on the moon or perhaps in cities on the seabed. Okay. Okay, so before the end of the next century. Okay. So, okay, so continuous again will be living. All right. Okay, well, that's the end. Thank you all for your participation in these exercises. It shows that you paid close attention here. All right, well, you can learn to speak English with more confidence with me. I'm TESOL certified. I teach native U.S. English. I'm experienced in online tutoring, and I work with all learning levels and most age groups. So, whether you need help with grammar, speaking, vocabulary, or writing, or any other area, you've come to the right place. Well, thank you for watching my video and happy learning.